Hey guys, what's going on? So today I have the aftermath on the 1996 Chevrolet Lumina. Well, we're bringing home some hardware today, and so you know what that means. We at least got top 3. So if you guys go ahead and watch the grandstands footage or the GoPro footage, you guys can see what happened. But let's get into this aftermath. Over and over again, it just was stalling, running like crap for a while. Backfiring, everything. Just not good. I knew it was some type of vacuum leak because I could hear underneath the hood that the engine sounded like it was just different. It was a different sound, and I was like, oh, we must have lost the hose to the brake booster or something. So I knew something was funky with that, but what actually happened was something I didn't expect to happen, and it was completely my fault, and unfortunately it basically cost me this Derby. But let's talk about the good news. I did end up placing 3rd at the 2024 Lewis County Fair. Sorry about the sun there, my shadow, but got a nice little trophy there. I'm really good at getting 3rd place apparently. But the good news is the car is still in good shape, and I'll be walking around showing you guys this thing. Excuse the stuff that's in it and everything. We just got back last night and just left it, and because I stayed and recorded the rest, and they came home earlier, and when I got home it was almost midnight, so I decided, nah, I'll leave it for the morning, and I just wanted to get you guys this aftermath. That way I can get this thing back in the tent, and then I'll do a proper fixing video on this thing and just show you everything that happened. So I will still show you some of the damage in this video. So it was going pretty good, this Derby. The front end was still real nice, and the back end was going perfectly, and everything really changed when I got track shot in the back. You guys will see that in the GoPro footage, unfortunately, or I just look at the stands footage. Unfortunately, they missed it, but it's not a big deal. They got most of it, and I'm very happy to have any at all, because my brother, who usually records, is out of state right now, so unfortunately it is what it is. But anyway, got this back end to roll up, but unfortunately the trunk lid popped right up and totally blocked my view, and unfortunately I wasn't going to go ahead and smoke somebody in the back or in the driver's door with this thing, so I decided to spin it around. And almost the moment that happened, the car started dying, and I'll show you guys in just a minute what exactly happened, and it's very embarrassing, but it is what it is. But the back end went perfectly. Starting to lose that side pillar. I don't know if you guys can see the crease up in there. We got a few creases going through the roof and stuff. But I think there's still plenty of room, or plenty of time in this back end to do real good. I'm going to try to use this when we run it again, and yes, this car is obviously running again, using that back end the entire time. At least try to. Inside, it's perfectly fine, other than when I tried to climb in it to go low down the trailer. I broke the button off of the shifter, so now I got to figure out something to do with the shifter, of course. My knee slammed against the shifter, and it just, because it's GM brittle plastic, just snapped right off. So now I got to figure out what to do with the shifter, of course. And those are not common shifters. They're actually quite rare, so of course, my luck. Anyway, so I'll have to figure something out there. But the front end is still pretty straight. The driver's side frame rail is nice and straight. This side's tweaked a little bit up here at the front. It's not bent where they normally bend in the back. But you guys can see here over the strap that the crush box is totally collapsed. The frame rail is kind of tweaked, and the subframe, I can't tell whether it's creased or not, but I don't think it is. If it is, it's so minor. But yeah, I mean, other than that, the bumper's still technically straight, just because this side's come in, so it's still technically straight. And I'm gonna actually use this bumper again. No, I am not going to replace this bumper. One, because I think it'd be more of a headache than what it's worth with this crush box being the way it is. But the whole thing's pretty straight, so we're gonna take it, and I'm gonna end up using it again. I don't see any reason why I can't. So But this side really was the problem child. We got hit a few times in the side, but this strut laid over really quickly, and it was kind of confusing to me how fast this thing went over, because I'm used to these Luminas. You can hit them quite a few times. Like that strut got laid into multiple times, and it didn't lay over, and this one got hit once and it laid right over. I don't know. Maybe it's just a really good shot, or maybe this strut was replaced or something and was just weak. I don't know. Also, the steering. The steering got really bent on this thing, and that's one of the reasons why I actually didn't run it again in the evening, is because that strut, or the strut was bent over, and I'm not convinced that strut's not broken right in two. And the that tie rod, I mean, that's gonna break. The moment somebody hits me, it's just gonna snap. So it wasn't worth it to me to waste, you know, to go out there and then get just absolutely pounced on as soon as that broke, and then I would have broke more stuff underneath the hood. It's just not worth it, especially because the car would have been probably running like crap again because of what happened. So let's see, can you I spy with my little eye what's wrong with this motor? Sometimes some people say, oh man, what's wrong with it, by looking right here. What's wrong with it? What's missing? How about this guy? Where's the rest of the air neck with the mass airflow sensor? That's right, guys. I didn't tighten down the screw that held on the little neck that held on the mass airflow sensor. So when that popped off, it read it as a huge vacuum leak, because I don't think it immediately fell off and fell underneath the car, because eventually it did. But the car was reading a huge vacuum leak and didn't know how to run, essentially. And because I didn't know how much fuel to give it, and sure enough, that's essentially what cost me this Derby. One little screw, because I forgot to tighten it down. And that way I was a sitting duck. They popped both my front tires, and I eventually just became a sitting duck, and that was it. Fortunately, it did not hurt my wiring. Wiring's fine. Over there, my fuse block started to pop out, actually, because the firewall, because that strut tower somehow, some way, did get bent pretty badly, actually. It's kind of kicked over, so, and a little bit back. I don't know why, but it did. But now I got to do something with that fuse block, because I didn't realize that that area would get bent so quickly, and sure enough, it's now too tight, I think, for that fuse block to sit in. So we got to find a different place for that fuse block. So overall, everything else under the hood is in good shape. Fan still works. Radiator's pushed forward a little bit, but that's because my braces just got bent a little bit back. So I'll end up doing some work on that. Probably pull out some of that sheet metal, just pushing in on the radiator over there, and get her straightened back out, and she should be good. The hose was a little kinked because of that, but we'll just end up pushing this radiator back, and that radiator hose will be fine. Still holding water pretty good, and also holding water inside the engine. Oil. Because this thing's got a blown intake gasket, which I did not realize until the day before the demo. But I said, screw it, we're just going to run it the way it is, because I checked the water in it, because it looked good before the Derby, because I drained all the coolant out of it. I filled water in it like a dummy. I didn't check to see if this thing was blown, and sure enough, the intake gasket's blown in this motor. I'm fairly certain it's not a head gasket, because it didn't blow all the water out immediately. So I think it's just an intake gasket blown on this thing, unfortunately. But we'll just run it the way it is. I ran the Century with the blown intake gasket, and it was just fine. It was actually one of the best running 3100s I had. This was a great running motor until I lost that MAF, and then once it started learning on tables, which is its default, kind of once this all fell off, once it learned how to run again on its default tables, ran good, ran perfect. Going up on the trailer, it ran pretty darn good. It had a little bit of hesitation when you gave it a lot of gas, but that's normal for running without a MAF airflow sensor. I'm sure it would run like crap right now because it was cold, but once it warmed up, I'm sure it would run pretty good. But unfortunately, I just didn't want to take the risk of it going in there and then it would start running like crap, and I'd just be a total target because of the way this car's already bent, and also that tie rod would snap, like I said. So it just wasn't worth it to me. Just rather do it right, fix it right, get that trunk lid smashed down and beat those quarters in a little bit and make her nice and stiff in the back. And I think we're gonna have a pretty good car here. She's still real straight, so yeah. And then she's gonna be running really soon, guys. It's not running next weekend, but basically 2 weeks from today, which is Sunday, the day after the demo at the Lewis County Fair. So luckily I don't have to do any work to this side. I just have to replace that inner tie rod. I'll leave the outer tie rod, it's fine, on that side, and replace a strut and a lower ball, because the lower ball and the other strut I have is kind of shot, so I'll end up replacing that. And yeah, I think we'll have a pretty darn good car. I'm going to actually go try to find my spare mass airflow sensor from, I think I kept the one off the Lumina and the Century, so I should have at least a couple. Technically, I did have one at the Derby, because I drove my old Buick Century there, and that's a 97 Buick Century. Had the same MAF and everything set up, I believe, on this, so I probably could have just slapped that on and ran with the MAF after that, but like I said, the suspension was screwed up on that side. I just didn't think it was worth it. So anyway, guys, stay tuned. There's more updates coming on the Lumina. Boonville's coming up really quick. That's next weekend. By the time this video comes out, it's probably going to be either time for Boonville or I've already recorded Boonville, to be honest with you. I just don't know how fast I'm going to get videos uploaded. I kind of got a busy schedule, so stay tuned. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for all the support, obviously, as always. And bye-bye, everybody.